Well, hello everyone. It's great to be here sharing some music with you. We call our harp and horn duo bluegrass because Margie's electric harp is blue, as you can see, and of course, my horn, which is a flugelhorn, is brass. So that's the reason we call ourselves bluegrass. And Margie will have a couple of words here on how this all happened.
I also want to say that we have played places where they've heard bluegrass, but we said bluegrass, they heard bluegrass, and then expressed quite a bit of disappointment that they didn't hear their favorite bluegrass songs. Um, in 2011, I had been playing the harp for a while, and the kids and I were working on Jim to take his trumpet out of the case, which he hadn't done for 35 years. Oh, 37, I'm corrected. So in 2011, he took out his trumpet and we started playing some music together. At the time, I had a concert harp that I was using, and to be perfectly honest, the trumpet and concert harp didn't work well at all. It took several years, but then I found this electric harp which really could compete with anything if I turn it way up, but I don't. And Jim found his flugelhorn, which is, well, why don't you give the adjectives?
Oh, it is, compared to the sound of a trumpet, it is um, more mellow, softer, buttery, creamy, smoky. Yes, yes, all of those adjectives.
So our first song for you will be one that I think many of you will be familiar with because it's the theme song for a very popular TV show, Outlander. It's the Sky Boat song. We really love it. It was actually composed in 1746 to commemorate the battle at Culloden, where the English decisively held on to their crown. So, Jim, when we first started playing, we played a lot of jazz, Great American Songbook, but he agreed that at times he would take out his Celtic flugelhorn and play a traditional piece for you. So, here it is.
Do it.
Is there some way you can turn up your volume a little bit? We have our computer on 100%, but it sounds very soft.
Well, don't now. Why don't you just.
So we'll try that the next time we speak. I'm going to turn the level on the microphone down because I don't think you'll have any trouble hearing the horn. So is this a little bit better?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, great.
We play music of a variety of genres, including some originals. Now, this original is one which we'll ask you to sing along with. If you stay muted, it's probably best. Um, a few years ago, Jim is a native Vermonter, and he was very familiar with mud season. But when we moved here, it was a whole new thing for me. And in my therapeutic harp work, I like to play a lot of seasonal songs. And when I realized there was none for mud season, I decided I needed to write one. So Cheryl will share the lyrics, and please sing along.
Our next number is a jazz tune. It's from 1959, um, written by Luis Bonfa. This is one of the most famous and best examples of Brazilian jazz and bossa nova. It's called Manha de Carnaval. It's also known as the theme from Black Orpheus. So it is, in fact, a theme song from a Brazilian film called Black Orpheus. So let me ask you, how is the balance between the harp and the horn? Is one or the other too loud? I'm getting some thumbs up and some okays. That's good to hear. I mean, that's good to see.
This next song is a blues. Because of my blue harp, we felt we needed to play some traditional 12-bar blues. And what could be the better subject of our composition than our cat? So our cat Nittany is a real love, and I think Jim's going to look for her. And she is a lap cat, but we do have to cut her nails, and sometimes they get a little long. And so if you think of something that might give you the blues, definitely having Nittany's nails just sort of grab onto your lap before she launches off can give you the blues. So here is the Lap Cat Blues.
So there you have it, the Lap Cat Blues. I don't know how to introduce this one.
This next song is one that Jim walks around the house most of the time with these headphones on, listening to music. And it's great because he hears all sorts of tunes that we say, oh, we should play that. So he came up with, he heard his favorite trumpet player, Chris Botti, play this tune, Love Gets Old. And he brought it to me and he said, I think we should play this. At first, after 34 years of marriage, I didn't know what kind of message I was getting. But he convinced me that, you know, young love is ephemeral, but when love gets old, it's the real thing. And so I agreed to play it. And it turns out, interestingly enough, because all we know about it is as a solo for this trumpet player, but it's actually quite a nice harp piece. So.
so beautiful.
I'm glad you're still there. Something from Adobe something or other flashed across our screen midway through the song. We assumed you were still there, though.
So we have one more for you right now, and then maybe we will take a few minutes to entertain any questions you might have and maybe tell you a little bit more information about bluegrass. So this next number is a composition by Paul McCartney. It was recorded in 1963 by the Beatles. We have gotten our hands on the music for a Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass version, which they recorded the following year in 1964. So we hope you enjoy this Tijuana Brass takeoff on the Beatles' All My Loving. Margie's first going to play a little really beautiful introduction. It's not just beautiful, it's also harpy.
Bravo, bravo.
Oh,
Par excellence.
So I don't know if Margie and Jim can see everyone. So if you have questions for them, you can, I think, just jump right in.
I have one. This isn't a question. Could you make, it is a question, could you make a jazz CD? Because I like to, I mean, a blues CD. That's my request.
Well, we have a few blues tunes that we do. I don't know that we have quite enough yet to fill out a entire CD, but we're headed in that direction.
All right. I need one.
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to go, Sarah?
No, you go right ahead.
So when you play songs that were written by other people, is there some time when they become public domain and you can do it in a concert? Or do you have to get permission if people pay, like we're all paying for this concert and you played something that was composed by the Tijuana Brass and written by Paul McCartney?
We recently ran into copyright issues on our YouTube channel.
Mm.
And so if a piece is less than 100 years old you do have to get permission. And so we have done that. As far as, we're really not sure about the whole issue around concerts and playing covers because everyone does it. So I can't, I don't think, Jim, you don't know the answer to that either, right? You know, but for example, on our YouTube channel, we had, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, Unchained Melody, so songs that are still under copyright. And eventually, as do many other people, have songs like that on their YouTube channels. But somehow ours came to the attention of someone and they just took it all down. So we are being very cautious now.
Well,
So, and one last little question, and that is how many hours do you spend playing music, new stuff and just practicing old stuff on a regular basis?
Well, this pandemic year has been a huge change for me because I was doing therapeutic harp work out and about for quite a few hours a week. And I really counted on a lot of that time for practice for some of my own music as well as music Jim and I play together. But now it varies some, but what would you say, an hour and a half a day? Well, no, we would practice if we were preparing. Yeah.
Not really. I practice in my horn about an hour and a half a day, so basically not nearly enough. And then when we have a gig coming up in the near future, we then practice together for several days in advance. And we often will practice together just because we enjoy it. it's really a lot of fun for us.
I had a question about the harp, the electronic harp, Margie. What is the difference in terms of your playing the two? Is it so similar that it doesn't seem like much of a change, or can you talk a little bit about the difference between the two?
Yes. So, one thing that distinguishes a lot of different models of harp is the distance between the strings.
Mhm.
So, okay, so to answer your question at first, no, playing the electric harp is not very different from playing other harps. The only challenge can be buzzing because it's, like if,
Mhm. Right, like an electric guitar.
yeah, there can be a lot of finger noise. I've
Mhm.
gotten better. When I first got it, you'd hear all that going on, and so that took some practice. But in general, it's the same setup. The levers here are the same, and working with them. Um, so it's more for me moving from this harp to one of my other ones. It's more getting accustomed to the distance between the strings,
Mhm.
because I count on that kind of muscle memory a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and it's this harp is just really easy to play, like a concert harp. Um, the string tension is so hard that I could only play it for maybe an hour when I had it, and then I would start getting these neuropathies. So this one is just really easy. I can play it for hours.
Mm. Thank you.
Can you show a side view of that harp? Nice, it looks. And a side view of the flugelhorn? Right.
Could you talk about how you've been playing the harp forever, Jim? You said it was 37 years between the time that you stopped playing your trumpet and you picked it up again. How did you both get started and then keep going?
I started cornet when I was about 11 or 12 years old. And then I switched to trumpet in high school. I played through high school and all through college. As soon as I graduated from college, I put my trumpet away in its case, and it stayed there pretty much untouched for 37 years. And then I took it out in order to try playing along with Margie. And I discovered that I had been a fool for leaving my horn in its case all those years, because I discovered how much I really enjoyed sharing music with other people, and in particular playing music with Margie. And so we played together for a few years, and then I had been listening to a lot of trumpet players on Spotify and Pandora. And in those channels, they would also occasionally play someone who was playing a flugelhorn, and I just fell in love with the sound. So I took Margie flugelhorn shopping. We spent 2 weekends doing it. We went to a shop in Manhattan, and then we went to a shop outside of Boston. And oh yeah, and Margie brought one of her harps, so we could pick the flugelhorn that sounded the best with her harp. So here I am.
So
I have oh,
go ahead. Go ahead. Is it for
I
Jim?
was going to change the subject. Did you have more you wanted to say about that?
Oh, I was going to tell about when I started playing harp. So if this is still about Jim, about the flute.
I don't think it is.
Wait.
No, tell about your playing the harp, and then I have a question.
Oh, okay. So I got my first harp as a 50th birthday present, and I'm not even embarrassed to reveal. So I've been playing the harp for 19 years. And I really, when I started playing between 2000 and 2004, it was more just, it was for fun. And it's still for fun. But then through a number of ways, I discovered therapeutic harp work. So I enrolled in a course for that and finished that up in 2006. And then between then and the pandemic, I've done a lot of therapeutic harp work at about 8 or 10 facilities around the area. And that led really nicely when Jim and I started playing together, led really nicely to opportunities for us to play at these facilities. Okay, Priscilla, you're on.
Well, in addition to just playing beautiful music, you also are committed to using your music in support of social justice issues and some political causes. So could you speak a little bit about these causes that you support and how you do that with your music?
Well, definitely hospice. I don't know that that's political or social justice, but definitely we do hospice work. We also organized a concert to raise money for Bernie Sanders in 2016, and then in the summer of 2019 to raise bail bond money for people who were being jailed, undocumented immigrants. What other? Yeah. So Priscilla, did you have some others in mind? But that's what I'm
there
thinking
have
of.
been a number of times when there might be a rally or there might be something happening that you're very generous with donating.
Oh, thank you. Jim, Jim can tell you about the crop walk.
Several years ago, I started playing for the crop walk to send the walkers out, to send them off. I would play on my trumpet, actually, with a trumpet friend of mine, Jim Lanfer. We would play the Lone Ranger theme to get the walkers off, and then I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago that we were invited. Margie and I were invited to play some music, some background music before the walk started. So we have done that. What else comes to mind?
Well, I think you'll
we
probably
have-
think of them later, but I'm thinking about Margie. You would play for the Alzheimer's Association annual gathering to fundraiser. You've done some other fundraising kinds of. You're just very generous donating your gift.
Well, thank you. And then I did play for the Vermont Summit. Fran was instrumental in inviting me to play there. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Jim, but I think he'd agree. We love those opportunities to play. And again, the Stories from the Hearth, a hospice event, we got to play at right before the pandemic, and that was just a wonderful experience for us.
I really love it at the community supper when you play.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
We did too. Oh, all the people running around and everything. looking forward to that starting up again.
And we love that you came out and played for my folks as they were dying. It was wonderful that you came into people's homes to do that.
Yes, Cheryl, we loved hearing about their dancing. Your mom talked quite a bit about their dancing.
So we played for a gentleman who was on hospice, and I'm trying to remember now, probably the better part of a year. We would play quite often. We were doing a lot of gigs at places like the Residence at Otter Creek, Eastview, and similar facilities in Chittenden County. And in advance of many, if not most of these gigs, we would do a run-out concert for this gentleman. And I really fell in love with him because the first time that I played for him with Margie in a small little condo, we got started and I was playing with a mute in order not to, overpower him. He stopped us and said he did not want me to play with a mute. Yeah, get that mute out were his words. So, that was a lot of fun too. But we really enjoyed playing for your parents, Cheryl. That was very, very special.
And I'm wondering, are you going to send us off with a final song? I'm realizing that we're almost out of time. And we're hoping maybe you will. If we say encore or something like that.
Which country, could I have this dance? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, as I said, we play a number of different genres, but we were a little light in the country music department. And then we were playing at we were playing at Ethan Allen Residence in Burlington, and a gentleman came up to us and said, "Do you know the song Could I Have This Dance?" It was the song my wife and I danced to at our wedding. And Jim was familiar with it. I didn't know it, but we found it. And a bonus is that it was a waltz recorded in 1980 by a Canadian country singer, Anne Murray. And so in addition to learning this song for this couple, which they danced to it when we played it for them, and Natalie McMaster played it for them too. It turns out she was in Burlington for the concert, the annual Christmas concert that she and her family do. And so it was right around that time, and we got to see a video of Natalie McMaster playing it. But anyway, we weren't intimidated, and we went ahead and played it, and they danced to it. So here is our country song. We may even have one or two more now, but Could I Have This Dance?
Thank you guys so much. So much.
You're most welcome. I think I can speak for Margie as well as myself. We have really enjoyed this. So thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We should give a shout out or something, all of us, since they don't get to hear us applauding.
Maybe
Appreciating.
we can all applaud
Thank
right now.
you.
Be a little.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We saw all of your smiling faces throughout the hour. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll let you do that. Cheryl, thank you so much for inviting us to do this. It's been a great deal of fun.
Well, and it sounded great. Thank you.
Great. And so you'll have a recording, right?
It'll be up on YouTube. I hope nobody will take it down because. Right.
The sound was very good quality, the music.
Wonderful. Cheryl knows we bought this special little new box just for Zoom to help with the sound. And this was one of its maiden voyages. So thank you.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Really high quality sound.
Great. Okay.
Take care, everyone. See you next month.